So far flawless.
Yeah, what's up with that?
What the hell? Hey, welcome to another edition of Modern Day Thrive. I am your flawless host. I really screwed myself that time. Dean Baker, and next to me is George Weber. How you doing, George?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Pretty good. So, Modern Day Thrive, if you haven't got clued in as of yet, Modern Day Thrive is, it's about side hustle. It's about multiple streams of revenue. It's about work smart, not hard. It's about working for yourself. It's about small business. It's about large business. It's about all these things. We can talk about this because we are actively engaging in all these things.
Absolutely.
We're not professional money people. We're not, and I'll use the bunny ears. We're not professional financial planners. We dabble. We find things that work for us, and we kind of talk about them, share them with you. We try and test everything we talk about, and if we don't test it, we'll just say we didn't test this. So that's pretty much it. So if you kind of like any part of what you're hearing, please like, follow, share. Trying to get that up. There we go. Like, follow, share. And we've already got comments on the show from Phil Bird, the podcast doctor. How you doing, Phil? Hola.
Hey, Brenda's there too.
And Brenda, yes, she's keeping you on a short leash.
Yeah, I know.
She's watching you. Phil, you'll notice that my camera is more directly facing me. Phil talked to me the other day. I'm like, oh, come on. I'm getting schooled. At this age. So anyway, so yes, please like, follow, and share. It lets everybody know what we're doing and how well we're doing it. And I'm hoping we're doing it very well. If y'all don't watch, we're just going to pass you by. I mean, I tell you what, it's been an exciting couple of months.
Yes.
It's been and I don't want to dwell the show on this because I will tell you, this is like Christmas Eve for us. And this program we got into less than a week ago, like beginning of the week, is kicked off, probably been all week, and it's going to come to some resolution tomorrow. At some point tomorrow, it's going to resolve itself.
I don't know if it's going to be end of day or what.
And we are looking at a big possible payout. Yes, we love those.
Christmas.
Love payouts. Yeah, Christmas is early this year. Maybe a week, 2 weeks?
Week and a half, I think.
Week and a half early this year. So that's what we're all banking. So more specifically, the traders that we're working with, we're in the groups on Facebook. This one particular trader is doing, what is it again?
NFP, non-farm payroll.
Non-farm payroll. Now, I have lived most of my life up until about 2 weeks ago. I had no idea what that was. And I'm still not 100% sure, but non-farm payroll, the government puts out a report. I can only kind of refer to is if you remember the movie Trading Places.
Yes.
With Eddie Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
They were the big thing with Eddie Murphy.
Orange juice is up.
They were talking about frozen concentrated orange juice.
I remember that.
That's what they were talking about. Uh-huh. And Eddie Murphy's talking about it, and I think they're also talking about pork bellies.
Yeah.
Those are the two trades they were talking about. And here's a guy, a street hustler that was, that they made a bet that they could bring him in. Sorry if I'm spoiling this, but this movie was out in the 80s.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it
it's not spoiled yet. So be it. I spoiled it. So these two stock market traders, hustlers,
pretty much,
basically made a stupid bet that they could take some guy off the street, which was Eddie Murphy, and make him a stock market trader.
And they ruined someone's life in the process.
And on top of that, their golden boy trader, they wanted to actually as part of the bet, move into the street.
And the bet was $1.
Yes, these millionaires betting $1 to
it's actually a good movie.
What they could do. Yes, yeah. Jamie Lee Curtis was in it. I mean, it was Dan Aykroyd. Was in it. And so basically, but they were talking about these cornering the market on frozen concentrated orange juice. And so the big thing is there was a report that the government was filing talking about that particular industry.
Yeah.
All right, long story coming to this. This farm payroll report. Basically, the government puts some type of public statement
some kind
out.
Of data,
yeah, data that's been collected, and based on that, these traders and I guess traders from all over, the stock market, everybody gets into this.
Sure.
And if you don't know about it, then they're likely doing it without your money, clearly. So. That fan noise all of a sudden kick in?
No, I think it's the Zamboni.
Oh, the Zamboni's going by. Okay. Well, just like I guess the hockey game's going to start outside in a second. Yeah. A puck might come flying through the window here. So yeah, these guys are trading based upon this trade, and the returns are stellar. We've been talking about getting 10%, and we're just loving it.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about something at a whole different level, and I'm not going to jinx it anymore. I don't even want to talk about it anymore, because as it is, I'm not going to sleep tonight until tomorrow. It'll be like kid at Christmas time. I'm going to run downstairs.
Can I open?
Which means run out of the room. I don't have it upstairs anyway. So I'm going to run across the room. I'm going to have my jammies, on. I'm going to look in the Christmas tree is going to be this computer right here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to look under the Christmas tree and go, is it here yet? And then I'm going to hold my breath until it shows up. So anyway, based on that, I'm not going to talk any more about that because we're all in just wait and wait, hurry and wait. But I did think it wasn't going to actually, I wasn't going to find out till like Monday. Tuesday.
Yeah, he thought it was next week. I'm like, no, it's Friday.
So here I am. So I'm very happy about that. But that's not really the topic of the show.
Not tonight.
Topic of the show is more side hustle.
Side hustle it is.
I think side hustle is important, and I think there are people out there just, end of the year, they're thinking, I ain't getting a Christmas bonus. What the hell?
That's true.
And then you got to start thinking, I need some extra money. I need some extra dollars, some change, some quan.
Some coinage.
So I'm going to take this little guy off here.
Well, the nice thing about side hustles is they generally can lead to a profession of some kind for some people.
Well, yeah, side hustles are basically you're selling your free time. If you sleep 8 hours, you work 8 hours, then there's probably 8 more hours that you've got as your spare time.
As your window.
Which we use that for showering, shaving, eating, maybe watch a little TV and things like that. So those really, those individuals that just have to have an extra pot on the stove to stir.
You got Saturday and Sunday too, but then you're talking about again extending your work hours.
Right. So basically, if you're a side hustle freak, you're gonna say, I've got 40 hours a week. I could turn into a second job.
Sure.
There comes the Zamboni.
There it comes again.
I'm going to turn it into a second and take that free time, turn it into a second job, and I'm going to see if I can double my income.
Yeah.
Okay. It does. It can, you got to find something you're passionate about.
True.
Or knowledgeable about. And then it's like any business. You got to do the basics. Are you creating a product or a service?
Yeah.
Are you driving for Uber?
We've seen a lot of like the side hustlers that play music, like, just drums and stuff on the side of the road. They do all right.
There's a guy just down the street from my house. Once that street kind of gets a little bit more active, and there's a median going down Edgewater.
Okay, gotcha.
From my house down Edgewater toward downtown, and there's a road splits.
Yeah.
And like every morning, there's a guy out there with a guitar and a something to grab some change, and he's just singing and playing.
Just a playing away.
Which I like that because I think that's a good side hustle.
Sure.
Why, and why he picks the middle of the street at an intersection.
Yeah,
I'm
where
not
there's
sure
mainly cars.
Because people will, and I'm sure they'll reach out and hand them some change, whatnot.
Sure.
And I'm like, this poses another problem. Okay. This
Getting hit by a car?
Well, yeah, that poses a problem for him. He could get hit by a car. As this guy is, I guess he's classified as a panhandler. He's looking for change and whatever, but he's performing for it.
I don't think they mess with them, though. Do they?
No, they don't.
I don't think they do because they're all over the place.
But this is the holiday season, and panhandlers are out and about.
Yeah.
And I heard a special on the radio about a week ago. Maybe it was a Thanksgiving show. It was a couple of weeks ago, and one of the local radio stations was doing something. They were doing an interview, and they're talking to somebody who runs or who manages a bunch of homeless shelters.
Okay.
Where like, hey, look, if as opposed to giving spare change in cash to a panhandler, give it to these people that actually put food in mouths and give people beds.
Yeah.
And, I see people handing money out to panhandlers all the time.
Yeah, I do too.
And the first, the skeptic will say, yeah, the guy's probably got a BMW and a big house, and he just shows up there,
Yeah.
Which some of them
could be true.
are actually homeless. You can usually tell by how they're dressed and and their cleanliness.
Hey, we got our pizzeria guy back.
Pizzeria guy.
Totally. I have a question. Should you always make an LLC? For your side hustle, I would think it would depend on how big you plan on making your side hustle. If it's not bringing in a lot of money, I don't know if it's worth the time and effort.
Yeah, if you're driving Uber, I don't think you need to worry about that because Uber provides insurance.
Yeah.
So some of the side hustles, and Uber and what's the other one, Lyft, they're pretty, any website-driven side hustle usually comes with all kinds of insurance and liability and stuff like that.
Reporting and that kind of stuff.
So depending on your side hustle. Now, if you're going to make things and sell it at a farmer's market, which is a big side hustle.
Sure.
If you're going to make things, then, one of the big things about an LLC is to protect your personal assets.
Yes.
So you fall under the blanket. That's why I LLC, my new version of my company was for that.
Yeah.
That's a big reason.
Get some protection.
Tax advantages, a little bit. You
can get them with just DBAs as well, though.
You can get that with a DBA.
Yeah.
So I guess you have to look at if you're just a DBA and there's a risk that you could get sued for something, then go get a liability policy.
Yeah.
That might be a lot easier than dealing with going through doing paperwork and LLCs and all that.
Yeah.
Go get a liability.
Especially if it doesn't last.
I've got a liability policy on my DBA as well as my LLC. So I've got two policies. I don't cut corners. I want to make sure I'm covered.
Sure.
And policies like $1 million policy is not that expensive.
Yeah.
Liability is and let me think.
I would think it would depend on if you plan on getting it big enough to where it really makes sense to do so.
I guess you have to look at, are you risking being sued? Sometimes you might want the liability policy on top of an LLC. So if you have a lot of assets, if you have a lot to lose, then you might just want to go for the extra, get the LLC. It's not really that complicated. You can LLC almost over the phone or online in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So, but then afterwards, you got to go through all the. You gotta follow up. So yeah, I guess it really depends. Feel free to chat in and let us know what kind of LLC you're thinking about. And again, we're not financial planners. We're not business, we're not business degreed people, but this is stuff we've done, and I've done for 30 years. So I'll just say, if I don't know something, I don't know. If I'm full of shit and you can call me on it, then call me on it. Great. I use this show to learn just as much as, hopefully, as much as everybody else. So, yes, the question, LLC is, could be a side hustle. So getting back to the homeless, a lot of homeless, the panhandlers are out. They're out in droves. I saw a thread. I'm not sure if it was through Facebook or something like that, where a woman in California noticed a pregnant woman with a sign, and then I guess she got it in her head that she was going to follow her. Oh, okay. Chased her.
Make sure she was legit.
Yes. Well, she says in her story that that she was across the street getting gas, and then she noticed a car picked her up. So here's a pregnant woman with a handwritten sign, and all of a sudden, like, this Mercedes rolls up and picks her up. Yeah. So she got it in her head to follow them. Wow. Okay, and followed them to a really nice house, and then she proceeded to call all the news stations and turn this into a big frenzy. And news reporters are confronting, because there was a man who was kind of managing this pregnant woman, and they're not even sure she was really pregnant. And there was a child as well. This woman had a child with her. So is this child endangerment? Is this, she took it upon herself to go chase down, and it really just kind of opened up a whole can of worms, and the news stations
So Karen's alive.
Yeah. So weird. I in theory, what do you say? You get approached by somebody, and it's easy just to say, look, I don't carry cash on me anymore. Yeah. I got a card, and that's all I use. And that's kind of the way it is these days. You just don't carry cash on you, most of it, I wouldn't want people to carry for safety reasons. You can get jacked just as easy.
How you doing, Buff Potato?
The Buff Potato. Nice.
Thanks for joining us.
Homeless people make an average of 30.
I don't know the stat, but I kind of think the same as that. I do. That may be a high number, but
I don't know where you're getting your stats, but I guess
I think they do well off.
I guess if you're what is that, $3,000 a month? So that's about $30. No, that's about $100 a day. It's possible. Making $100 a day, 365 days a year. There you go. There's your 30 grand.
That may be a little steep. But
if you're pulling stuff off the internet, you just got to take it with a grain of salt, because you just never know. Yeah. Is it? It's internet true.
Is it truly fact?
We'll just call it what it is. It's internet true, which means it's only true to the internet, because anything could be true there.
Well, what we can say is they don't starve, for darn sure, because they wouldn't be around for long. I see the same people all the time, and they look pretty healthy.
Yeah, and then there are some that just seem like they have been living in the woods for and that's it's sad, but it's there.
Some do it by choice.
Absolutely, ways they can get a bed and a meal.
Sure.
If they're in any kind of metropolitan area.
Sure.
There's many ways you can get a bed and a meal. So that's really all I want to say.
I don't know if they treat that as a hotel though, where you can stay there forever, but
they limited amount of space, but so if somebody really needs help,
sure,
but you can't really say to that person, look, there's a shelter down the street, blah blah blah. You really can't.
No, because you don't know the story.
Because you don't know their story, and you're inviting yourself in, and it's just it's complicating. It's probably just
or I used to work. There was a guy,
I don't have cash on me.
Did it on purpose, because we actually talked to the guy. I didn't talk to him, but some of the other guys.
Yeah,
there was a whole story, with an ex and that kind of stuff. But the guy lives in the woods behind the place by choice.
Yeah,
has no interest in all the there's dealing with getting a house, getting a all that stuff.
There are some people that will. My old studio, I had people living in the woods behind.
I see them all the time riding the bike.
Yeah. Some
got a
have
big
dogs.
golf on it.
This one guy had a dog.
I seen him taking tires to the recycle place. Just like, wow.
Well, I'm just like, but yeah, that guitar playing side of the road guitar player looking for, I guess I'd call that more of a side hustle. It's just location at that point.
Yeah.
You really pick a location that pays well. He's
Maybe.
performing. He's a street performer.
Sure.
That's what it is. So
definitely find a place like where there's a lot of people on feet, though.
I know, but I guess he's hoping that people in their car will have access to the little change thing right between the seats.
Maybe, yeah.
Anyway, that's part of, I guess, part of being a street performer, part of being a side hustler.
Mm-hmm.
He's dedicating a certain amount of time for earning some income.
The majority of them aren't doing that, so he's got an edge up. The majority of them are just kind of walking the aisle with the sign going, hey, I need some money.
Just give me money. It is. And it's sad that has to be a reality.
Sure.
And unfortunately, there will be somebody, and I'm trying to be as PC as I possibly can, but there will be somebody who's taking advantage of that situation.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
And then and unfortunately, that would detract from the people that really need help.
Yeah.
But I don't know. If you have a child with you or you're pregnant, and you know what? If you're really in danger or really, I would start with the hospital. You could probably walk into the hospital and they would point you to or ask a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
If you're pregnant on the street in danger and you're hurting, then likely you're gonna, you could find, you reach out to our emergency people. And they would help. So, if you both were street performers, I'm going to do Modern Day Thrive on the street. Sir, can I bother you for a second and talk about your financial future? Oh my God, no, that wouldn't. I don't think that would work. What's your hidden talent?
Man, to be on the side of the street, I don't know.
Yeah.
You can juggle, can't you?
I can juggle and I can.
You got a unicycle.
I can unicycle and juggle. At my age, I don't know how well I can still do that. No, I'm pretty sure I could still ride. You never forget. But, yeah, But no, Modern Day Thriver.
I don't know if I could do street performing, but, there's got to be something. There's a couple of things we'll talk about here in a minute that I'm looking into.
Yeah.
Because, I'm at a pivotal point, as we know, and potentially a career change.
You've had a career change, okay? We all knew that was coming.
It was coming, yeah. It wasn't quite on my terms, but that's okay.
Okay, so side hustles. On this show I've talked about soap.
Sure.
And I don't know if Maria's listening in.
Haven't seen her yet.
Haven't seen her yet. So
mention soap, she will. She can give you a hard time.
I go to a farmer's market, and of course, there's always a half a dozen vendors there that are selling soap. Mm-hmm. And they have these square little bars. They look like brownies. Mm-hmm. They're multicolored and all that stuff. They got sprinkles of stuff in it, and they look very nice. Mm-hmm. But they're also $9 for a bar of soap. Ouch. It's fancy soap. It's soap that, you never use.
It's probably not to be used.
It's never supposed to be used, but it is fancy soap. So, got into it. I actually made some bars of soap, which means got a kit melted. And it's just you throw soap bars in the microwave.
Yeah.
You microwave the soap and it goes liquid. And it goes liquid, and then you can pour it in molds and mix it with colors and whatnot. So, if I had in another life or 30 years ago, if I needed a side hustle, I'd probably make soap.
It could be interesting. I mean, for like a farmer's market, probably be a good place. Even a little like touristy store.
What's your side hustle?
You
were just talking about it.
You did. You caught me off guard. So actually, I'm going to bring a quick video up. If I can remember, I haven't done this in a while.
Okay.
Give me one sec.
Got to present.
I do. They changed it. Share screen. Chrome tab.
Oh, Maria just popped in.
Uh-oh.
It was good soap. No, it was great soap. This, if $9 soap is good, this is probably $15 soap.
There you go.
Okay? I don't think I'm understating it either. That was kick-ass soap.
So I got a video up here. I'm just going to play a little portion of it.
I actually tried some the other day.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You had to burn it up.
Very nice soap.
The process is called hydro dipping.
Hydro dipping.
Yeah, and it's, the simplistic version. It involves...
Bring it in. You want me to bring it in?
You should be seeing it.
No, but I will bring it in now.
I thought I did.
Go full screen, which means take your YouTube and go full screen.
All right. Is that up now?
Yeah, we're good now.
Okay, cool. Sorry about that. I thought I had it up.
So hydro dipping.
Hydro dipping, and I'm going way past in it because the whole first part of it's a lot of explanation. I just kind of wanted to show the process, and I'm still learning it. I don't know it 100%, but I'd like to play around with it.
Your video is at the end of the video.
Yeah, it is, because this is where they just start to do the hydro dip process. This little thing floating in the water here is the image, and he's spraying what's called an activator. That's what they call it.
All right. So basically, you use an inkjet printer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then there's some sort of release paper that you print onto.
Correct.
Then the activator releases the ink into the water.
Yes.
There you go. Now you can jump ahead to the next thing.
Yeah, and so basically as you can see, he's already pushed it through. You swirl it around, and basically that's your finished product, which I think is really cool.
Worked out perfect.
Very cool.
We painted right over the tape.
You can do it with almost anything. We've seen videos of bike parts,
motorcycle helmets.
Yeah, actually, my son has an old baseball helmet.
Yeah,
that's going to be my first one I play with.
So, is there any other that are bigger that you can get a better look at? Very small.
I would have to do a quick search. I only pulled this one up real quick, but
just escape out and see what's next on the search list.
Yeah.
Oh, Austin texted me just now.
Okay, so spraying this like this. What you want to see after the 3 minutes is that gloss.
Find something bigger. Show me that.
Yeah,
I'll give you just a moment.
Let me go back real quick. I'll find something here. That's a compilation. But I find one where because they do a lot of. This one may be good. Looks like they did a tire, like a wheel. Like a car wheel. I could see that being a big thing. People spend a lot of money on their
advertise.
Hydro more like hydro.
Just jump ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find where they get into the.
Just anything big. Yeah. So they've got a bigger vat.
Let me go back a little bit just to see what the product is.
You must agree. This looks awesome.
So and obviously. They're not looking for something pretty, but it looks like it's some type of a plastic
Definitely
piece.
Look interesting. Yep. Yeah, it's perfect leopard.
They're going to push it right down in. They're not going to.
What does a leopard look like?
Agitate it until it's completely submerged, and then they'll agitate the water, get all that.
Because anything you would come up, it'll stick to.
And then boom, what's it look like?
Come on. Well, they're playing around, obviously.
Oh yeah.
But let me skip through and see if they.
So.
Have a better.
I've seen people actually take spray paint and paint over the water. And they just
just like make swirls,
just randomly, and then swirl a little bit. And
badly this wants to curl up, and that's a problem. What we need to do is make a border around this thing with just masking tape, and that'll help.
Okay.
So anyway, that's the concept behind it. I think the
film,
the ideas in this are potentially endless, like we were talking about. You got
just pause it. Pause the video. I took it out of the stream.
So, you got cell phone covers. You got anything that you could.
Tumblers,
your tumblers would be one. I think baseball helmets, like for Little League and stuff, I think cool. That would be really cool because you could market that to the parents. That's what, if you're going to market to someone.
You've been thinking about that, yeah.
I have actually.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'll do it, but I want to try it.
I suppose
because I'm going to build a guitar and I'm going to hydro dip it.
You're going to build.
I'm going to buy a guitar in pieces.
Okay.
I'll build it. I'm going to hydro dip it.
A guitar.
Yeah.
You're going to build a guitar.
I'm going to build it from scratch. I don't know how good it'll be, but I'm going to do it just for fun and see.
I bought a guitar, a used kind of guitar. Thought maybe it was going to be a prop, and so it's sitting in my house.
Gotcha.
So if I want to paint away, it's something to paint. Well, I can do it.
What kind of guitar is it?
acoustic.
Maybe
Yeah.
it may be fun to do. I want to mess with a couple different things, some small scale stuff in the beginning. But I think there's a lot of market for that. If obviously these guys that are doing these big vats where they've got their real, they're obviously charging some people some decent money for that.
Okay, so the business of doing hydro dipping would be, obviously you got to have your shop, do it in your garage, whatever.
Maria's always got good ones. Christmas ornaments.
Yeah, Christmas ornaments.
It's a good idea.
Perfect.
Ornaments. I mean, you have a picture of
I think that was like the first one we looked at. I just couldn't see how close up it was.
It was a plastic piece, I think, but I don't know.
Well,
but I think that's a good idea. Actually, I didn't think about that.
So obviously, if you can create some patterns that you can do, well, problem is you've got one tub of water, so you can have a bunch of little tubs, and then you dip and dip and dip and dip. And
I think the only thing you really have to do, because the guy was talking about in the first video, is just make sure the field is clear. You don't necessarily have to change the water, but you would have to make sure that everything is kind of pushed aside. Otherwise, that would cause you a problem.
I would think you could run some cheesecloth or something through the water to grab any paint that's laying around. So yeah, I've seen videos of guys with spray cans just spraying over the water, and then take like a toothpick and make little swirly patterns, and then boom,
there you go,
you dip, and then you come up with something like a real tie-dye kind of effect.
Another big one I've seen is these guys are doing the paint guns, or even the water guns.
Could we plasti dip soap? No, I don't think we could do that.
Maybe.
Anyway,
I don't see why not. But
so you've taken that, you've got the process down. Now you can do it, and you can do all kinds of really cool patterns on things.
Yeah.
And then what? I mean, is that a farmer's market thing, or
I don't know.
Where do you go from there?
I would think if you're going to do something like cell phone covers, create a website.
Right.
Create a WordPress site. Maybe even a Shopify store.
Okay, Shopify.
Shopify store may be a good place there, because then you probably got the keywords are kind of more generically built in versus WordPress. You got to do a lot of that on your own.
And Shopify is a 24-hour store, but you still have to have a strong social media presence to reach the largest amount of people and hopefully sell some things. Etsy or a website, and Etsy's,
and that may be the first place to start. Go ahead and get people that are interested in it more than others.
Great thing about Etsy is you can post a look, and then someone can order that, and you don't even have to have it ready. You can make it to order. So you don't have to waste the content. If something you can replicate, then you can wait for the order, go out, do the dip, and be able to, and then you got to box it, ship it, and send it, and all that fun stuff. That's with a lot of business. Yes, that's an Etsy business. That's technically what it is. You're creating something to sell online.
Yeah, sure.
And
Etsy's a perfect platform for it.
And they're art pieces too, so it's not like you have to have barcodes and UPC codes.
It's technically
and all that
a
stuff.
Custom item at that point.
If you wanted to get to Amazon, then you would need like UPC codes, and
that gets
just
expensive.
So many things you got to do. So Etsy is good to build a following that you can migrate to your own site once you get enough customers.
Yeah.
Sure,
you can always keep the Etsy front up.
Yeah.
And just
I was specking out a commercial this past week. And the gentleman created a dog washing grooming product.
Okay.
And that's as far as I'm going to say. But they wanted to do a commercial, and it was a commercial that was going to run for Amazon.
Okay.
So he's basically creating this thing that's that's going to get marketed and sold through Amazon. And I've seen the packaging, and it's got the barcodes and all that stuff. So it's an official looking product.
Nice.
But how many times do we see products come out from Amazon that have a sticker on the box?
Yeah.
A plain brown wrapper. Wrapped in cellophane, wrapped in bubble wrap, stuck in an Amazon box with an Amazon sticker across the top. And it's just, brown labeled.
That could be what they store in the warehouse.
Could be, yeah. And You know, I have enough of those boxes, anyways. But you know, but that's an Amazon business,
Sure.
and that can be something that you can go through.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but there's a lot more details to clear with Amazon. And
Yeah. A lot more red tape.
Being a seller through Amazon products.
Yeah, you definitely got to go through a process.
Yeah. So there's Etsy, there's Etsy, there's Amazon. Now the farmers markets. I was reading an ad for a local farmers market. I think it was on Facebook that they were looking for vendors.
Mm-hmm.
This was on Facebook, and for those vendors out there, there are events like farmers markets and special events like a farmers market that are coming up, you know, in the next month or so that they're looking for vendors. And if Naja, our hot dog queen out there, is looking for a location, this might be one of them.
Sure. Because there's always people on feet there that get hungry.
Yeah. And I got to give Naja a shout out because I was just watching Facebook and I saw she actually had her hot dog cart wrapped.
Nice.
Fully wrapped. I mean, it looked cool. There was pictures of New York subways and just all kinds of neat things. So it was pretty cool. So I'm not sure.
Awesome.
I know she hasn't been on tonight, so I thought that was pretty cool what she did.
We'll have to talk to her when she hot pops on next time, maybe.
Yep. So, in fact, if I had, I would have. I don't think
another one.
I don't think I'd pop into her Facebook post. Let me look for just a quick section. No.
Another item that I am potentially considering.
Okay.
Is microgreens.
Okay.
So you got, you can do the broccoli, you can do wheatgrass, you can do a ton of them, and that's, from what I understand,
that's a big farmers
pretty
market
popular
thing.
Good for farmers market.
You look, and it looks like just like a little mini pallet of grass.
Yes, look a patch.
People are eating. Yeah, it's like a little 1 square foot of grass.
But they say the potency of them, because of the short, it's all in the stem.
Right.
They're supposed to be really, and a lot of people eat them. But I mean, I've never been anywhere commercially that I've seen them.
I don't know. My green thumb exists here when I got too friendly with a Sharpie, and that's where my green thumb ends. I've killed nothing but now Maria, I know, has an amazing green thumb. She could grow anything. So but me, I just don't. I have no abilities. I'm struggling. The 2-3 times I've tried to grow something gets like 90%, and then wah. It just fails.
I did really good on. I bought some romaine lettuce, and it grew like crazy.
The one time I tried to grow romaine was when I took a refrigerator shortcut. Yeah, and I just put and it started growing. It went to seed.
Really?
It went to seed.
Interesting.
So I'm almost wondering if, there's only probably so many times you can pick that shoot and they probably regrew that romaine
I'm guessing,
so many times, and then when I got it, the very next and seed when romaine goes to seed, it is so bitter, it is nasty. It is it's just horrible. Which is why when they say when you
do for you don't actually, but it's a lot harder. Yeah. So I've watched videos on how they pollinate the tomatoes.
Yeah,
they say to take an electric toothbrush and you rub it along the stems, different areas.
I tried that,
and I mean when yours are outside.
Yeah, mine were outside.
Now I had tomatoes.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, they died because I killed them.
Yeah.
Well, because I did not realize, and this was my first go at it, and this was all hydroponic, so there was no dirt, and I had to refill the solution because, man, once they get big, they are drinking water like crazy. Well, I filled it all the way back up, and apparently there's 2 type of roots that grow. There's air roots and there's feeder roots. Well, I basically drowned the plant because I filled it too high, and I didn't know.
Says who's got time for that? Let the bees do it. And
that's true.
Bees.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that, but I like growing indoor hydroponic. I don't like doing dirt.
You know what? Start a beehive. You got a backyard.
I had one once.
Go get there. There's a business not far from you right off of the Beltway, your side. What is that? The 427?
417?
417. As you go south, there is a place that has, you can actually buy and get into beekeeping.
It's probably the guy that came that took him out of my house.
So yeah, you hired somebody and they were happy to come.
Yeah, he was.
Because it was, for them, it was just more honey producing. But from what I gather, other than some really simple maintenance, beekeeping is quite a lucrative business. And
I'm sure.
The honey is free at that point, and so those are. I don't see doing microgreens for you as a side hustle. You would have to probably have your own greenhouse and be able to produce.
They show people converting whole rooms to it, so I mean, again,
and then you got to go to the farmers market, and
not necessarily. You don't have to. A lot of people market it from their house, and they once you get a customer base, you can ship them in packaging that keeps them secure.
The kids, have the kids load them up and have them go knocking on doors. I have. You want
to try some wheatgrass?
But for you, I see growing stuff like that as not really a side hustle. Must be a great way to grow some of your own food.
Sure.
And that's what I respect that more. Somebody who can actually eat food that they grow.
I probably will do that at least.
Sustainable, would be great. So if you want to pass a product, write a how to and sell that. Yes.
Well, so the process can be documented and all that good. So but I would like a greenhouse at some point because I do like growing stuff. I just don't have the room for it now.
You've got room for a greenhouse.
No, in my backyard, yes. Yeah.
Well, where would you put a greenhouse?
I was doing it in my garage.
That can't be a greenhouse.
No. But when I was doing my initial grow, testing
in your house, it's called a grow room.
Well, yeah.
Outside is called a greenhouse. Two very different things. So,
but that may be something I look at. And it may just end up becoming a passive hobby.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Who knows?
So,
the people that are, at least the videos I have watched of the people that are talking about it on YouTube, it's pretty darn lucrative.
Right.
But I mean, I'm sure there was a lot of, in the beginning, a lot of hurdles you had to get past. Right. Because you have zero customers in the beginning. So, but eventually you probably get repeat customers. And at that point, I think it's just a routine. But it is something that you have to be on top of, I think, all the time. It's not something that can just, set it and let it go and then come back.
So Maria just brought up a topic that is something I wanted to talk about tonight. Write a how-to and sell that. Now, one of the things on my list was were websites called Udemy and Teachable, which is you can create videos, how-to videos.
Create it once, sell it a million times.
Create once, sell many.
Yeah.
And that's a passive product.
Sure.
So in the Udemy world, now there's another one called Teachable. All right. Big differences between Teachable and Udemy. Teachable charges you a monthly service fee. So you got to pay to run your business. Beyond that, and they probably, I don't know about how much money they keep from you. But as far as Udemy goes, I don't believe there's a startup setup fees. But yes, you can take business courses, or you can sell your business courses. You can sell, whatever you're into. If you do design work, you can teach web design and teach classes and these. All right, it's thinking. And people are putting their skills in here on video and selling them, and they're selling here's something that's $79.99. Here's another thing: essential skills for designers, masking, $14.99. So there's a Photoshop master course, $15. So great, if you want to teach an online course on Photoshop, or photography, or knitting, sewing, how to dye yarn. If you want to teach how to yarn dyeing, you can create a video and sell it. and create once, sell many. And this is actually something that I was ready to talk about tonight. Early on, I just decided between Teachable and Udemy. I don't know. I'm getting a weird vibe about Teachable.
Oh, yeah?
Like I'm not seeing what I need to see on Teachable. The site is really weird. It's not giving me a whole lot of, this is their site. I mean, it's just crazy features, pricing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't really even know what I'm doing here,
Is that possibly the outside view before you log in and your back office probably changes?
Maybe so, but if you're trying to get me to do something,
yeah,
you're not really doing a great. That's why I liked Udemy from the get-go. Udemy was really straightforward, got you in.
There are several others too, but again,
it's like this Photoshop thing.
I don't know which one's the best.
If I clicked on that, it's going to give me a freebie look at it, and then it's going to, tell me how much money I'm saving, add to the cart, and as far as I can tell, of course I got to go through a sign up, I'm sure, but
you have to have an account,
reviews, and all kinds of things. So great, it's a great way to learn something. Problem is, like for Photoshop, you got to have Photoshop for someone to be teaching you, because you're not just going to be looking at a screen going, well, now what did he click on again?
Yeah,
and then you gotta,
because you're going to go, let me go do that.
Do it on your side.
Yeah.
So Teachable and Udemy are definitely a good side hustle.
Yeah, Skillshare was another one.
Skillshare.
Maria,
Okay, yeah.
Maria was just mentioning that.
Yep. Is that man in a dress? You know what?
I
scrolled right by, so we're just gonna.
We're in a new century. It's possible.
Hey, maybe there's a skill set out there that how to dress like a woman. All right.
Apparently, that's coming back. So I don't know. We should leave that one alone.
We're gonna leave that one alone. So anyway, that was another one, and I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna sneeze here in a second. Man, it's going.
Uh-oh.
I hate that. Why don't you go ahead and
But
talk?
yeah, so we talked about that a while back because we were shooting some content, at your old studio to try to get prepared for a course, and I think one of these days we should maybe get that thing done, because I think it's possible. Those are the type of instructional videos that sell well.
Right.
Because you get somebody that's looking for a career change, or maybe even just passive projects. They're not ultra expensive. I mean, you're spending $14.99 on an entire course. I think you get it for life, or at least for a year.
Yeah.
But,
online courses are
most. Once you pay for them, normally you keep them for whatever duration it's in, depending.
I think that's a growth industry anyway.
Oh, sure.
Online courses, it's just more, there's just going to be more and more and more.
Well, that's why, now social media. So, I love YouTube. I spend so much time on YouTube. It's not
and
funny.
They love YouTube.
I'm sure they do. Half of the stuff I see because one thing was recommended, probably because I was yelling at somebody across the room and they heard something. And they go, oh, let me send them these feeds.
Right.
So every time I leave here, I end up with StreamYard on my.
Oh, yeah.
Always,
we can't avoid StreamYard. It's part of our show, and for some reason, you would think that would keep me from getting more StreamYard ads since I pay them so much money a year. So, but
so yeah.
Anyway, so.
And it's fairly passive. I mean, you create it once, and then after that, you don't really, unless you plan on updating it, you don't really have to change it.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
And that's, passive really is the best way. And if it's something where you're like doing webinars, unless it's a recorded webinar, you're doing them all the time. So you may do it different from one time to another by a little bit depending, but it also requires more time.
Yeah.
I think the webinars typically that are popular, there's always the upsell, and that's why they do them.
Yeah.
Because they know potentially they're going to sell a package of $6.99 or $9.99 or
that doing webinars is a recently added service for StreamYard.
That's right.
So I can
haven't tested it yet.
I can offer that, and which allows for a pay-per-view. So if I had a specific video or live event that I want to make it a pay-per-view, or to be able to create a login where I can capture email addresses and, create this is a good thing.
Sure.
Just have to find the right kind of event to promote and get people to hop on and watch, and whether they're pay-per-view or something, because I think pay-per-view could be a bigger thing,
Sure.
Than it is. I think it was huge in the 80s when you wanted to do pay-per-view special events like wrestling.
God, when did we do the one we did?
Pay-per-view on wrestling.
Remember what year that was when we did the race pay-per-view? Oh, my God. What year? When was that? It's been a while.
Which race?
The one down in Bithlow. That's where we did the
pay-per-view.
Yeah,
that was a 06, 05, something like that.
And this was, we went and had a website.
Yeah.
We got someone over in India to develop it for us.
Yeah.
They built the
purchase,
purchase stuff inside.
Yeah.
It wasn't done real well, unfortunately. We had some issues there, but the pay-per-view itself, it was kind of fun.
Oh yeah.
You go to an event where people are generally from out of town. And all of a sudden the racers go, what? It's going to be online? Oh, wow. How do I get to it? And then all of a sudden their family members are like, oh, popping in. It was kind of a crazy night, but because some of it was manual.
I think I was probably one of the very earliest people to offer a pay-per-view local
It was a local
event,
track,
Well, it was a Florida track. It was a one of the first pay-per-view auto racing kind of
I don't remember what kind of numbers we did, but they were decent considering we had no marketing. We did no marketing for it.
Probably had a couple hundred people that week.
We had a lot of views.
Yeah.
The views were crazy.
So, yeah.
But, that was fun.
So, more things. That's part of what we're looking at, but you got to find the right audience.
Sure.
We had a captive audience with racing because those drivers were out of state, and
half the time their families were home.
Absolutely.
They didn't always come, so they were like, oh, wow.
Tell their families and friends 1,000 miles away to watch.
What did we charge for that? I can't even remember.
Oh, it was cheap.
It was like $5 or something.
Yeah,
or something
it was like that.
But.
Yeah. Yep. So anyway, side hustles are, one of those really important things that we can do. I was watching some videos and on your taxes and stuff like that, and some side hustles are not even taxable. I guess it's just an amount.
Oh, really?
Well, this is the gray area. You find some billionaire talking about it, and this is what I did. I saw a video, and he was talking about how side hustles aren't taxable. And I'm like, well, that doesn't, no, that's not. You pay taxes on income.
All right, where's Brenda? Brenda should be able to answer that one.
And, but no, it was this well-known, like investment billionaire, and he was talking about it. And I think he just
if you're under a certain amount, I think yes.
Yeah.
It's like $600 or something like that, But,
whatever it is, but the idea is that this is why you can't believe everything you hear on the internet.
Sure.
So I'm repeating it, but I'm also saying bullshit. But no, a lot of it you got to really look at. That's where a professional tax person would jump in and tell you everything you need to know about. What you're going to expect when you're taking income for your side hustle. So,
best not get caught with your pants down.
Right. Otherwise, in other news, looks like our good old friendly traveling FTX
Sam Bankman
millionaire was arrested in the Bahamas.
So you said he was extradited.
I don't know if he was extradited or if he was just I
know he was arrested and they were trying to extradite
thought I
him.
heard the word extradited being used in the report that I heard.
Oh, he said that he shouldn't be put in jail because he's a vegetarian.
Good to know. Yes. Yes, we want to really look out for this poor guy.
He couldn't be put in jail because he was vegetarian.
Yeah, this is You know,
I thought I got a kick out of that.
And what you had told me after this story, it was like he was denied bail.
Yeah, I happened to see one of the articles that basically said the judge denied him bail because I'm guessing he would be a flight risk.
Denied bail, yes. Flight risk would definitely be.
Because he's probably got enough money stored somewhere that someone would stuff him in a suitcase and take him out of the country.
Money hidden all over the planet.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Many banks all over the world, and all he's got to do is get to a,
get to port of call,
get to a boat or a plane.
Yep.
With sketchy,
Yeah. Some of this, I mean, just look at the.
That's how he got to the Bahamas. It wasn't like he hopped a U.S. Air and just said, "I think I'm going to go for a trip down there and walk through customs."
Yeah.
How did he all of a sudden just pop up in the Bahamas?
He had a friend that had a boat.
Right. Get to Florida.
You could take a personal boat over there.
Yeah, Florida is probably a few hour. You get a high speed,
if you got a nice boat,
offshore fishing boat that can do 60 miles an hour. You're there in a couple hours.
I mean, if you pay somebody enough, you got these guys that are bringing, people across the border, and you see them open up a van, and all of a sudden
there's a mule
stuffed in there and stuffed in here, and I'm just like, wow.
Now there's a side hustle, a Bahamas boat mule. There's a side hustle. I want that business.
You could call it a beer bus.
You could cart billionaires on the lam and say, I need to get to the Bahamas. Then you take them out for an hour. You hold the keys over the boat and at deep water and say, now, here's my Bitcoin address. I want you to send me.
That's right. Send me some money.
Otherwise, we're going to have to use the radio and call the Coast Guard. What are your thoughts?
Man overboard. See those sharks over there?
I'm swimming for it. Yeah. So there it is. Bahamas boat mule.
You say that, but I was one year I was
maybe Cuba.
Another topic.
Maybe do a Cuban boat mule.
St. Thomas.
Yeah.
In St. Thomas, there's two sides. There's U.S. Virgin, and there's what's the British.
Well,
I forget what it is.
Not British.
I forget what it was called, but there was two sides to it, and the guy we were with, we were kind of out on a relaxed day. We were working.
It's Dutch, I think. It's a Dutch.
I forget what he called it, but he took us over there, and we took us to this bar. The bar was called the Soggy Dollar Bar. Mm-hmm. The reason is you had to park your boat and swim.
Really?
To get to it. And the guy goes, the guy points over and he says, "You see that dock over there?"
Yeah.
And he says, "If you see a bunch of people running out of there, let me know because we need to get back on the boat and get back over the line."
Oh.
I'm going, really?
Yeah, because you're not paying the customs to go into that country.
I'm like, I don't know if I can swim that fast.
And you're not going through customs, so yeah, you might want to.
Didn't look like they were messing with anybody, but I guess they could.
Well, there are so many islands in the Bahamas. All you got to do is get them to one of them.
Yeah,
Yes, Bahamas boat mule. That's a nice side hustle there.
Oh, why not? Right?
You get
high risk, high reward.
Get known for moving runaway billionaires.
I mean, if they catch you, they're just going to arrest him, or they're going to arrest both of you.
I don't know.
You're in international waters.
I didn't get the guy's ID, so
he just paid me. I don't know who he was.
I don't know. You wanted me to go to the Bahamas. I'm thinking, I had nothing better to do.
Yeah, right.
So
I'm off today.
I was just minding my own business, officer. No, oh my God! So they nabbed him, and that should be an interesting.
That is going to be interesting how that plays out.
I don't know if that'll be bigger than the OJ trial or the, what's the other?
They're calling it the scam of the century. So I mean, as far as size and things like that, because I was reading it. I didn't read the whole article, but they were talking about Celsius, which was another. Platform that basically had went into bankruptcy.
Well,
they're saying they're making them pay back like $40 billion or something like that.
That's him. This guy.
Oh yeah, that's him.
Oh my God.
Have you ever heard him talk?
No.
Oh my God, you got to go watch a video. Don't do it now.
Oh my God.
You have to watch a video. The guy's a flake.
Oh my God.
I mean,
is he like brilliant or some kind of coder that?
I am not sure I can even qualify him there. Maybe to some degree. It's like Albert Einstein was one of the smartest people, but he couldn't tie his shoes.
I didn't realize his last name was hyphenated, Fried. So I'm saying Sam Bankman-Fried in the Bahamas. So like, ooh, that's not good. He's fried. He's gonna burn. Obviously they're just gonna get all his money, put him in jail. Yeah, 5 to 10 years in jail.
They're talking 100 plus. Now, that's what they're talking about. Yeah, that's the last I heard anyway.
What do you do?
Now,
What do
that's
what do
like
you
worst
do
case scenario.
Is there a part of the world that you think you can hide?
Probably.
Because especially with this thing, you've screwed people from all over the world.
Oh, yeah,
not
definitely.
just the U.S.
Sure. Someone
So-
would probably eventually put a hit on you.
Obviously,
if
when
you
he
were
showed
out.
up in the Bahamas, someone said, "Hey, remember that guy? I know where he is."
Yeah, you're right.
You know,
It's that big house over there.
What's my finder's fee again?
Yeah.
You know, I'll point him right out to you.
Yeah.
But, you know, you got to. What does it take for somebody who's brilliant enough to pull that thing off and thinking he's going to get away with it?
Yeah, I mean,
Likely somebody might be getting away with it, but if he wants to reduce his stretch in prison from a lifetime to
start
maybe
naming names.
10, 20 years, you better start identifying everybody.
Well, my girlfriend did the books.
Yeah, right. And she's in I don't know. She's in Europe or something, just burning through the money. You know. I you know, you got to imagine what would possess this person to think he's going to get away with it when you burn people all around the planet. There's
I
not
don't
going to be a
think they
place you
planned
can
on
hide.
it collapsing the way it did and as fast as it did.
So
They probably thought they had more time, because that's why I understand he probably got 300 million somewhere,
Yeah.
expecting that he was going to disappear. But this literally happened within 3 days. Literally.
Everybody was like, "Oh, you got out just before."
So yeah, once it kind of started getting squirrely, I was like, yeah, you know what? I don't have a lot in there, but I had my Shiba that was earning interest. I had my Doge was earning interest. I
You
said,
pulled
you know
your
what?
Shiba out.
I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and put them back on Coinbase. So I moved all that. I had about $1,000 that I had made that week anyway
Yeah.
of Bitcoin. I said, all right, let me transfer that. I got it all out on Thursday, and they bankrupt on Friday.
Oh, jeez.
So if you didn't do it by then,
Yeah.
you weren't getting it out.
Wow.
The one guy from Shark Tank is at 15 million in the hole.
Yeah.
15 million, but that's probably dropping a bucket, you know.
Well,
But
for him, it's
but
like
still,
you know. Yeah.
but still,
Well, couldn't have happened to a nicer guy.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
You got to go
you
watch
know,
the video.
On the other side, you know, the Russian girl, the last week.
Oh, the
Not the Russian girl.
the girl from Seattle.
The girl.
I can't remember
The soccer? Was she soccer?
No, she was basketball. What the heck's
Basketball.
her name? I can't remember her name.
Anyway, she was released.
She was
traded
released.
out for a
For a mass killer.
Well, he wasn't. He was
what they call
He was a yeah. Well, he was
He was an
gun-
arms dealer,
He was
I
an
think.
arms dealer.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know. But
Not indirect blood.
yeah, he was
But
an
a lot
arms
of blood.
dealer. So we had to let an arms dealer go
Yeah.
to get her back, and that's that's our that's governments playing
Yeah.
Red Rover.
Sure.
Red Rover, send our arms dealer back.
Yeah.
We don't want him back. But that guy's never going to be allowed to move through the planet without,
I don't know.
without facial reconstructive surgery or something
Yeah, right.
like that,
I think he was released to Russia, so I mean,
yeah, whatever.
You know.
Yeah. Anyway, couldn't happen to a nicer guy. This one gets pinched finally. And that was
A lot
quick.
of people got hurt.
That was quick.
A
And
lot of people got hurt.
hopefully maybe some of the money can go back to some of those people. But
Yeah, it's if they can track it and trace it.
that's the weird thing.
That's the
about
tricky
it
part,
is-
you know.
So who's going to get that $300 million?
I would imagine the bankruptcy courts would probably determine.
They're going to say
How they're
well,
gonna
our
do that?
fees, Our fees are so high, and it costs
Yeah.
so much money getting you back from the Bahamas.
Yeah, right.
Because you know,
I don't know. I mean, well, yeah, because that's and lawyers love for that. They'll rake in the hours on it.
This is going to be a thing. you
Oh,
know.
yeah.
and funny thing is he'll be affording probably some of the best,
probably.
attorneys, that his stolen money can buy. And if not, I'm sure he'll have many friends paying, getting him in that situation.
That's a good one, right?
Side hustle, international assassin. There's a good side hustle. Yeah.
I've seen those movies. They're pretty good, but
Yeah.
you gotta. I don't know. I mean, sure, why not?
Yes. Dean Baker.
I mean, there are people that do that for a living.
Craigslist assassin.
Like, yeah, I want to knock my husband off. How much you cost?
let's not talk about things like that. International assassin and thriver. Okay, well, it's 9:00. This has been a hoot. Thanks, Maria. Thanks, Phil.
Thanks for the ideas. Put them on the list.
Thank you, Fratelli's Pizzeria. We're gonna have to come out and do a live show over at your place. So, thanks, the Buff Potato.
Yeah, I was about to say we have one more in there. Appreciate you
Thanks,
stopping by.
Brenda Weber.
I think she fell asleep.
Yeah, that's
She didn't
fine.
say anything after that.
Thanks everyone for participating. It makes so much more enjoyable show. And again, like, follow, share. Boom, like, follow, share. And we're out. Good night, everybody.
Have a good night, all.